you, Maxine. Hello, everyone. My name's Sheree. I'm a British Sri Lankan Muslim immigrant. I'm a secondary school teacher and a member of the NEU. I'd like to start by saying the National Education Union extends its deepest sympathies to the families and school communities in Southport, who are mourning the tragic loss of 3 young girls, BB King, Elsie Dodd-Stanko and Alice Da Silva. It's disgraceful that far-right groups have exploited this heartbreaking tragedy to push their hateful agenda. As educators, we know the profound influence that language has on shaping hearts and minds. When our media sanitizes hate speech or downplays far-right violence, it does more than just misinform, it endangers lives. In recent weeks, we've seen communities torn apart by lies and hate. Far-right mobs have blamed Muslim immigrants for crimes they did not commit, leading to the worst unrest in decades. Yet, instead of calling this what it is, Islamophobia and racism, some in the media have chosen to use neutral or even sympathetic language referring to these extremists as mere anti-immigration protesters. We cannot allow this whitewashing to continue. Language matters, and when it's used to dehumanize, it fuels division and violence. As educators, we have the power and the responsibility to counter this through education. We must teach our students about the rich contributions of Muslim civilizations to our world. From algebra to medicine, astronomy, art, and the word coffee. Islamic culture has shaped so much of what we take for granted today. We also recognize and celebrate the countless contributions that immigrants bring to our society. They enrich our schools, our communities, and our country as a whole. A society that is welcoming and inclusive benefits everyone. But we cannot ignore the fact that years of irresponsible rhetoric from politicians and sections of the media have created a climate that threatens our social cohesion and progress towards a more equal society. Islamophobia is having a devastating impact on our students. When politicians and public figures make anti-Muslim remarks, it isn't just harmful to Muslims, it affects everyone in our society. When one form of racism takes hold, it opens the doors for other types to resurface and show its ugly head as well. We must ensure that Islamophobia doesn't become an acceptable form of racism, but instead is confronted and rooted out in all our schools and communities. To combat all forms of racism, we need to call it out whenever and wherever we see it. It's important to educate others about its harmful effects and work together to put an end to it. Tackling Islamophobia isn't just the responsibility of Muslims or minority groups. It's something that we must all address, whether as teachers, employers, neighbours, or ordinary citizens. Our curriculum must be part of the solution by addressing these urgent social issues and fostering an anti-racist ethos that boosts engagement, self-esteem, and a sense of belonging for every child in our schools. The NEU stands with those who face racism and Islamophobia. We will continue to support non-violent protests, rallies and educational reform that aims to create a society where every child, regardless of their background, feels safe and valued. Let's remember, the fight against racism begins with us, through the lessons we teach and the words we choose. Together we can build a future where every child can grow up free from fear in a world where diversity is celebrated, not tolerated, and hate has no place. Say it loud, say it clear! Say it loud, say it clear! Thank you.
Right, just before our next speaker, I want to say that some people have questioned whether or not we should chant, "Whose streets are streets?" And the reason why we chant that is because the far right are quite clear that they want to take control of our streets. They want to build a street movement of fascists. Actually, Goebbels said, whoever controls the street also conquers the masses, and whoever controls the masses conquer the state.